In this guide, we're going to learn how earnings work in Parallel TCG. If you play Parallel using NFT cards in your deck, you'll earn some Prime tokens. This token can be used to buy stuff in Parallel, or it can be exchanged for other forms of money like BTC or USD or whatever you want. The basic reward structure works like this. You're able to get rewards for up to 5 games per day. These games are automatically selected. It's just your highest earning 5 games of the day. So here's an example. Let's say you played 9 games, you earned 8 Prime in your first game, 2 Prime in your second game, and so on all the way down to the 9th game. Don't mind the double 8 here, pretend that's a 9, where you got 4 Prime right there. So which 5 will you actually get? It's simple, just your 5 highest earning games. In this case, it was every other game. These Prime numbers are quite high. These are not realistic numbers, but it's just to show you the example of how your 5 will get selected. Now, these games will earn a certain amount of Prime based on a variety of factors: cards, keys, avatars, and your rank. And then once a month, rewards are released and can be claimed via something called the Echelon portal. So now let's take a closer look at how each factor impacts your daily Prime rewards. The first and the simplest is your rank. The higher your in-game rank, the more your base Prime earnings per game will be. These earnings start at gold and increase all the way up to master. So gold is the lowest earnings, platinum is a little higher, diamond is a bit higher than that, and then master is the top rank. Oh yeah. Basically, get higher ranks, earn more Prime. Pretty simple. Now, the main limiting factor for players to earn Prime is cards. There are 2 main categories of cards in Parallel: Apparitions and NFTs. Apparitions are everything that just says AP, as in the left side here, and NFTs are everything else. So for example, FE or First Edition looks like someone was wailing on the Bond wallet showing off 21 Terramech Titans here, but this is an example of a First Edition. And if you want to go through all of them, it goes roughly in this order from most common to rarest. It's First Edition, Special Edition, Perfect Loop, Native Language, and then Prime Variant. Oh my goodness, the sound effects going crazy over here. Sheesh. So, lots of stuff to collect. Now, the only way to earn meaningful amounts of Prime is to use a deck that is 40/40 NFT cards. You might be wondering, why is Quinto's face on the screen? Hold on, I'll get there in a second. But yeah, the only way to really earn is to use a 40/40 NFT deck. Technically, you can use a partial NFT deck, but it reduces your rewards a lot. It's not really worth it. On the other hand, rarer versions of cards have an earnings boost. This is known as the variant boost. So, like we saw with all this craziness over here, some of these rare ones can give you a boost, and Quinto, just as an example, recently got his deck variant bonus, as you can see down there, up to 0.126, contributing a large amount of this, almost half a Prime, that he was able to earn in a single game in Master Rank. It's a 35% bonus. This is really amazing at the very high end of what is possible, but it's not easy. Even for high-end competitive players, it's tough to have this much of the shiniest stuff. That not just anything, but like the exact competitive cards. So don't worry too much about this, but it is a good example of the high end of what is possible. And if you don't have enough cards to earn much Prime, well, this is a great reason to join a bond like Paragons. That way you can borrow some cards that you're missing to assemble a competitive 40/40 deck. We are now in the game, so let's navigate to our keyframe. All we got to do is go to the left side here, go to Collections, go to Keyframe. I'm already on it, but if I wasn't, I would just go there and click on it down here. So here you can see all the keys that I have available. Shout outs to the Paragons Gear program for making it possible to use so many awesome keys. Let's go through all of these and see what they do. How do they impact our Prime earnings? So first off, the Gravity Key. When in your keyframe, the Gravity Key has a chance to greatly increase the rewards of a ranked match. So basically what this does is it'll occasionally, every 3 to 5 wins or so, give you a boost between 50% up to 300%. So 50 to 300%. It is usually 50, so like the 300 is very, very rare. But even the 50% bonus, that's 50%. So generally, if you can get your gravity key to hit most of your wins in a day, if you can win enough games to get a bunch of gravity key hits, that's going to be super productive for your prime. Now, the most productive key is actually the overclock. This one is the amount of prime earned for each win goes up when the user is on a win streak. A win streak is not broken in case of a tie. I'm not sure how ties work right now. Those rules have been changed. But basically, the more wins in a row, the more prime you get. And it caps at 5. So if you win 5 or more, it just kind of stops going up from there. But still, once you have a 5-win streak, this gives you a big bonus, even more than a 50% gravity key hit, I think, or at least it's close. But this is generally considered the most lucrative key if you're able to get win streaks most days, which is easier said than done, especially at master rank. The Prismatic Key offers a 40% boost in rewards if you play that day's randomly selected parallel. So today it's telling me that I have to use Shroud, and I guess it's 50%. I thought it was 40, but it says 50%, so excuse me. So play the parallel that it tells you and get prime boost. God, let me say that again. So play the parallel that it selects for you, get a 50% prime boost. Very, very powerful, but it requires you to have NFT decks for different classes and to be good enough to pilot those decks. So both working with a build, both working with a bond and just being really good at the game are both required to get value from the Prismatic Key. There's a key called the Solar Key, which I don't have at the moment. The Solar Key says that once you win a game with all 5 parallels, every win after that for the rest of the day gets a 40% boost. So Solar Key takes a lot of time to activate. You have to win 5 games, 1 with each parallel. But once you do, it creates a big boost on all your prime games after that for the rest of the day. Solar Key, very valuable for the grinders. Next up, the Galaxy Key. This one gives you a little bonus prime for every win. So it's kind of like the gravity key, except it works on every game, but the flip side is that the bonus is much smaller. So Galaxy Key, small bonus on every game, gravity key, big bonus, but not every time. Those two are kind of 2 different ways of getting those bonuses. Then the core, it doesn't say the word key in it, but it can be equipped to your keyframe. And it's simple and it's juicy. Increase the number of eligible games for daily prime from 5 to 6. So I told you can earn 5 games of rewards per day, but the core boosts that to 6. Really rare and really, really powerful. Very, very happy to have that one on my keyframe. And then the prime key, simple but very important. When this is on your keyframe, it unlocks 6 additional slots. So if I was to unequip the prime key, it would actually only give me room for 2 keys. So you need the prime key to unlock most of them. And there's actually 1 slot that doesn't get unlocked even with the prime key. To get the last slot, you need the core, even though it doesn't say that. The core unlocks 1 more slot, which is kind of random, but yeah, that's how that works. And that's it. That's all the keys. Oh, wait, 1 more that I forgot. This is the Multifold Key, the Key of the Gods. Basically, you only need 1 NFT of a card, or aka digital collectible. If you have 1 NFT, the rest of your copies of that card are counted as NFTs for the sake of earning. So if you have 1 NFT and 2 Apparitions, all 3 count as NFTs. So this is really good for not having to own so many cards or not having to borrow so many cards. Mostly they get held by bonds and players borrow them from bonds just because economically that tends to make sense. But yeah, this one's very powerful. And then one other one while we're at it. This is actually a Apparition key, so you don't own it as an NFT. You don't own it as an NFT. You just get it from in-game quests and stuff. And this one is a one-time use. Your next ranked mode victory will grant you 30% more prime. So another one to add to the stack. As you can see, I've saved up 46 of these. I try to only use them if I'm on a big win streak and master rank and prismatic, like if and solar key if I had that. I try to have everything maxed out and then I use the bounty cash. But yeah, that's pretty much all the keys. So now let's talk about the one other thing that makes a big difference. Avatars and companions. So there's a lot of details about avatars that are going to be relevant to future games in the Parallel ecosystem, such as Colony, but for the purpose of earning rewards in the TCG, they're quite simple. It's as simple as this: if a wallet attached to your account holds an avatar of the same Parallel, aka class, as the deck you're playing, then you'll earn a 20% prime boost for those games. So if you have a Markolian avatar and you're playing a Markolian deck, you get a 20% boost. If you have a Shroud avatar and you're playing a Shroud deck, boom, 20% boost, and so on and so on. Now, there's another much rarer asset called the Companion, which is not class specific. You can just have one. It applies to all your decks, and this gives an additional 15%. And it's very important to note that these buffs are at the end of the earnings chain. So after the variants, after the keys, after your base earnings and your win streak and every little thing, this is the final boost that amplifies everything else. So it's really good. And really, to fully optimize, you're going to need an avatar of all 5 parallels plus a companion. That's a lot of money to buy solo dolo as an independent player, but if you're in a bond in the gear program for Paragons, for example, it is possible. And let me tell you, it feels good. And that sums up all the factors determining how much Prime you can earn playing Parallel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Flux signing out.